there's a lot to manage there. And also
For
just
sure.
the size of your company and hearing about your journey there and just hearing about you talk about the need to be proactive. If you think about two different types of business owners, typically a business owner is quite visionary. There's typically big vision, little execution. But it sounded like there was something there that just you ticked when it came to execution, seeing the problem and not heads in the clouds on maybe getting caught up in a vision or an idea, but then not executing. I'm curious, what do you think about that? Do you think that's kind of a fair assessment there?
Yeah, I think so. I
Yeah.
think it's easy to get caught in the weeds with certain, and I think that goes from like the visionary side to even like the opposite, being just the worker, the build side of it, with a lot of entrepreneurs where you stay. I feel like it's probably two sided there. Some
Yeah.
people that are just the visionary and they're thinking way too high and not implementing other processes, or more on the build side where you're just constantly trying to sell the job and go work the job, and not really ever slow down and step back and say, hey, what can we start perfecting? What processes can we put in play here that makes sense, so that, hey, next time maybe this detail is a little bit easier when we get to that point of the project, or that communication is clearer with a client, different things. And honestly, we're learning every day. Like, we're still writing new policies and new processes I think that's part of it. It's always refining. It's never going to be perfect. There's no such thing as perfection. So at the end of the day, we have to get close and keep growing and improving. So I think that's a good point, that a lot of people get stuck in one place, being either that visionary person, or potentially the builder side of it, the installer side of it, and not really growing outside of that.
If you think back when you were just planting plants instead of installing pools, was there a point where you felt like I hit a ceiling in my business and I need to change, or my business is just going to stay stuck here?
I'd love to say yes, but probably not back then, because I feel like I wasn't really thinking, even though I was evolving and growing. I feel like I never really thought that way back then when I was starting or as I was growing. Probably the only place, maybe during the recession of 08, 09, of
Yeah.
hitting like a ceiling and
Yeah,
being
it
a
hit
little
us all
scared and
hard.
thinking, how am I going to grow out of here?
Yeah.
But I feel like I probably have got a lot deeper thoughts today in the last 5 to 7 years, maybe, uh, than I had 10, 15 years ago. So, and I feel like the last 5 to 7 years are where I really hit the niche that we're into now, of realizing like, hey, this is the direction we need to head. I remember telling my guys the one year before we started the first pool, I said, I think we're going to start doing pools. And they all looked at me funny, like, are you serious? What are we going to do with pools? What do we know about pools? And I said, we're going to learn. We're going to get all the training that we need to do, and we're going to uncover a lot of details. But thinking that, even at that point, I don't know that I ever hit this feeling of any type of ceiling, that I wasn't going to grow out of something. Um, I think I look at
Almost
things
a
a lot
blind
differently today.
confidence.
Yeah,
Yeah, like just we're
probably.
moving forward. That's
Yeah, just keep going.
yeah.